What is going on, all you mystery seekers out there? Welcome to another Weekday Weird. I am Matt.
I'm Greg.
And today we're talking about North Carolina. This is not one of the hometown haunts, but we were recently there. And if you haven't checked out our live broadcast from Kenny's house, the Myers House NC, live at his 11th Halloween bash, make sure to check that out. You can watch the whole thing on our YouTube just by subscribing to us.
That was good, man. I liked that party a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun meeting all the people there and just the passion that people brought just because they have a love for Halloween and the original Halloween movie itself, because overwhelmingly everyone said like Halloween 1 was their favorite.
But it's surprising to me how many people showed up and how quiet like the scene was when he was actually playing the movie in the front yard.
Yeah, it was neat to see. So check it out on our YouTube channel and listen to it. And, you know, obviously if you're listening to podcasts, you can find it anywhere. But we're going to talk all about North Carolina tonight. Pretty much finish up Monster Month for this Halloween season. And it's all about Bigfoot, UFOs. And we got a chance to stop at a place down in North Carolina, in Littleton, North Carolina, Cryptozoology and Paranormal Museum.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and the guy was very interesting.
He was. He was a really nice gentleman, and he runs this museum out of the two front rooms of his house.
Which the house was very old. It was dated, what, in the 1800s, he said it was built?
Yeah, and he said there was, like, ghostly activity. Like, when he said he retired, and he retired from, like, our area in the tri-state area in New York. And he went down there, retired. You know, he said land was a lot cheaper. And then all of a sudden, he just said they had, like, paranormal activity. And he was always into this. And he's a former newspaper guy from the New York Times, he was saying. And he just had a lot of Bigfoot casts. He had a lot of stories.
Yeah, he said, like, he just kind of fell into it. He didn't, like, seek this out or look to get into this. But, you know, being a reporter, people just kept feeding him stories about Bigfoot. And, like, the areas we saw on the map, because there was pins, like, in the front room of where all the Bigfoot sightings were.
Yeah, not just Bigfoot sightings, just, like, abnormal sightings, paranormal stuff, and anything that was going on in North Carolina. He was trying to, like, figure out, and he says he goes out there into the woods when people have sightings, and he'll, like, cast footprints, you know, try to investigate himself, and he was really into this. And it brought up some, like, other topics that we saw recently in the news, you know, in North Carolina, from the one that we saw from Cleveland County, where a man claims he found Bigfoot footprints, because he said this was not any human footprints, not any animal footprints, and this was just recently in the news, you know, like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, October 8th.
Yeah, and this guy, and the tracks are pretty huge, and if you watch the video, and I'll link up this article in the show notes, but yeah, if you watch this and then you read the article, and see, that's the thing with this stuff. I mean, even the guy, when we were talking to him, he didn't really have much proof besides, like, the Bigfoot casts.
Yeah, he really didn't have any, like, photographs. Like, I mean, he had some there, but they're all very blurry.
Yeah, just like any other Bigfoot video.
Sounds
or picture.
He basically said there was, like, people hear sounds and then see things, and then he goes out and tries to look for the footprints and cast the footprints.
Yeah, and he had a lot of stuff too, even like haunted dolls.
He did. And then also what was another interesting one that he had was a recording from that lady's husband who was, like, died, like, years
I really
prior.
wanted to hear it.
I thought he was going to play it for us.
Yeah, he took it out and he was about to play it, and then he just didn't, and we didn't, like, press the issue on it.
Yeah, because a couple more people walked in.
Yeah, so I don't think, maybe another time we'll have to see if we can get him on the podcast and actually talk to him about it and maybe play it.
Do you think all those casts were real? The Bigfoot cast?
I mean, if that's all we have to go on is just Bigfoot cast, it's not enough proof. Because it's like, if we're getting that many footprints and that many casts of the actual foot,
you would think you would, like, see it.
Yeah, eventually we'd have to run into it.
I mean, he did say the one woman that lived, what, like a block over from him, her daughter, or she did, saw a Bigfoot and moved her family out of town, like, within 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it seems like they're always popping up. And when I was just looking at their Facebook page just for North Carolina Bigfoot, and it seems like constantly they're always citing something. And he even handed us a map, and he circled, like, some hot spots that we should check out if we were ever in the area again.
Well, like, you can see, like, driving back from the party on Saturday night, you can see it was completely pitch black, like, because we shut the car, like, you know, lights off in the car, and there's nothing out there.
Yeah, there wasn't, and it was interesting just how dark it really was. And even in Kenny's house and just at the party, like how dark it got really quick. And I guess we're not used to it because we live by the city and we live in, you know, like a high populated area.
Yeah, all the lights, from ambient light.
And that brings us to another thing that happened in North Carolina too.
Off the coast of the Outer Banks, yeah.
Right, the lights that these people on the ferry were witnessing, and it's only a 30-second video of these lights that these people saw. And the video isn't the best because he's like panning all around, or whoever that filming this is panning all around. Yeah, he was
like saying like there's nothing, and then like it almost looks like a formation.
It does, but then, you know, reading the article too, there was an old Air Force base military personnel that did speak on this, like a spokesman, and said like the military does a lot of exercises in the area, and there was no aircrafts that were reported in this area when the ferry was taking this video on September 28th, the day this was actually filmed. But they said they do training exercises all the time with like heavy flares.
That doesn't look like flares though. Like if you go back and like you actually pause the video, like when the lights appear in the video, at about like 8 to 10 seconds, it doesn't look like flares to me.
And but it doesn't look like a big aircraft, you know, like it doesn't look like it's a one formation, like round aircraft.
No, it looks like tiny dots.
Yeah, it looks like they're all, if it is like an aircraft, they're all flying together with very, very bright lights.
Yeah.
But
you would see like military planes, you would see like the different like pulsating lights.
True, and you don't see that here.
Lights, you don't see anything.
I was on the fence with this one. I really thought like it could be flares, you know, and I was thinking about this when we were talking about it on like the drive home. And I was like, all right, I reading the article and like watching the video, it does look like flares, but then it's just weird to see like, all right, if there was no military action in that area at that day, even though there was like, there's a military base, like what did they say, 70 miles in the article, like not too far away from where these flares were supposedly dropped, if they were actually flares.
Sure.
But they never came out, like the military never came out on this and said, yes, we did drop flares. So that does lead me to think like it could be something else. And then people always do have sightings of UFOs and Bigfoot. So could this correlate with North Carolina? Is there something really strange going on in North Carolina?
Seems that way.
Yeah, and it is a season, and we just wanted to share these couple stories. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and hit the bell for notification. After all, it is the Halloween season. Just one reminder, we're not going to be doing a Weekday Weird next Wednesday because we're doing a live show Mischief Night. So tune in and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all of our shows and our shop and our Patreon page, all at nightmare365.com. And until next time,
stay spooky. Thank you for listening to Weekday Weird, brought to you every Wednesday. The unexplained, the unsolved, and bone-chilling tales.
Do you know why we celebrate Halloween? Long, long time ago, it was a night of great power. When the days grew short, all across the land, huge bonfires were lit. Oh, there was a marvelous celebration, and they dressed up in costumes, hoping to ward off the evil spirits, especially the boogeyman.